Jim, the season's 30% complete. What's the significance of being in first place?
I don't know. It hasn't felt like we've been playing like a first place team from start to finish. But what it does tell you, Dennis, is how close it is, and how we've just continued to grind our way through it. It's been frustrating at times, but what I would say is, the players have pretty much stuck with it. And the fear always is when it gets frustrating that it starts to fall apart, and then you can snowball. So there have been some times where we've been challenged, but stuck with it. So I think it's a good sign. That's what I would say.
Practice today, power play looked a little bit different. Is there anything you can share on just so changing things up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this for a while. I think more than anything, the energy had to change. Just, we kept going back to the well, and it just had to change. So if you look at Brian Dumoulin, I talked to him this morning. I said, when's the last time you played the power play? And he said, I think 217 in Pittsburgh. And I said to him, when's the next time you're going to play the power play? He said, I don't know. I said, well, it's going to be today. So that's a pretty big gap. That's 8 years. And we'll see, again, we're still waiting on Drew. And I don't know if he'll be that long, but he might mind the gap in the meantime.
Brian has been more involved, right, of late, generally speaking, before this decision.
Sure. I mean, when Drew goes out, that's, 23, 24, so someone's going to pick up the slack. Moverari's picked up some, but then there's extra to go around, and he's really filled a void there for us. Yeah, played well.
How many practices with a new player on a special teams role do you like to have before you implement it in game action?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a specific number. All the players, with the exception of Dumo, for the last 8 years, have played on the power play at different times, have played with each other at different times. So we didn't even practice it under full pressure today. We just let's just get in our spots, let's move the puck around, have a little pressure, let's feel good, let's go play tomorrow. So we just don't want to overthink that part of it right now.
Up front too, Jim, it looked like a few little changes.
One sec. Do you have a follow-up to that, Jesse?
I'm just curious then if we might see it tomorrow night.
Yeah, you'll see it as it was practiced today. Yeah, if that's where you're going, yeah.
And just a few little forward changes of
Kempe, yeah. And I mentioned it post-game. So we gave those, I put them together at different times, taken apart. We said, let's give that line of three a good run and see what we think, see how we like it. And I would say they were okay, but they didn't, give us probably what we wanted, what maybe we expected. So, it's time to make a change again. We just wanted to make, I think I played 5 games or 6 games together. Wanted to make sure to give them a good run, see what it looks like, but now we decided we'll have to make it look different.
Joel Armia, is he becoming like a Swiss Army knife type guy?
He is, yeah. Well, I would say, on the wings in particular, Morsey, Laugh have been that player. Looks like Army's kind of sliding into that type of a role now too, where he's left wing, right wing. Mm-hmm. He's played center before, takes some face-offs, penalty kill, power play. So he's kind of been all over the map, but he's in our evaluations post-game, he just continues to do the right thing, both offensively defensively and offensively. He's been one of the guys that hangs onto the pucks and protects it, comes through the neutral zone, makes the play. He's been really good. So we think he'll complement those two.
Can your defense help add to solve the offensive problem by maybe becoming a little bit more aggressive in the offensive zone or via the rush?
Well, yeah. I mean, offense in the league now is typically 4 players. You can say 5, but usually a 4-man rush, the 5th guy. They can. Clarkey in particular, I would say, with Drew out, but they're not a rush up and down the ice, type of decor. So you got to do what you're comfortable with. When you start getting outside of your comfort zone, whatever it is, the results usually don't translate as well. You've established yourself in the league as this for a reason. You're always trying to push your game a little bit, but that's what I would say. You got to play within yourself at the same time.
The league is bunched up and close together, but you are in first place in the division. Does being in first place give you, as a coaching staff, more runway to experiment with things that maybe aren't working as quickly as you'd like them to?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, You've heard me say it, and it's a broken record. Honest, we focus on that next game and the next win. I hope we have a great week and we're clear. And you can say, well, now you got a little bit of a lead. You know what I mean? And the same question could be asked. Or you have a poor week and you say, now you're, you know, can you not do that? I would like to think we try to focus on getting better each and every game, doing what we think we need to do, not experimenting for the sake of experimenting, but we think this is going to help us. And so I don't think that changes wherever you're at. You know what I mean? I think we kind of try to do that without seeing where we are in the standings.
Matchup against Washington for second time. What did you like last game? Didn't like last game?
Well, the last game, they beat us in the first period. You know, 70% of their chances, we're talking percentages, 70% of their chances came in the first period. Their quality chances came in the first period. I think they scored twice. Last 40 minutes, it was the end of our road trip. We played really well, generated a lot. The goalie played good. But it was obviously too little too late. So that start of the hockey game is going to be important.
You're having a little run of playing the same opponent in close proximity. Ottawa, close, Washington, close.
Yeah.
You've got 2 games against Chicago, you know, no games in between. Would you rather play the same opponent like Chicago later this week where you get them not back-to-back, but consecutive games as opposed to having a week or 2 in between?
I don't know if I have a preference, but I don't mind it. I would tell you that I don't mind it at all because it does set up like a little bit like a playoff series would, where you're focused on one team specifically. So I think, and it works way for both teams, you can get just a little more dialed in. You know, the players get a lot of information over a long season. They're playing all these different teams, and you'd like to think they're grasping everything all the time. We all know it's probably not the case. When you get that same team in a short period of span, I think they dig in a little bit more to exactly what's going on, and they make their own adjustments within the game themselves. They know that defenseman, they've played against them now, maybe the second time, third time, they know themselves without really even having to get information from the team. So I think for that reason, again, it goes both ways, but I like it.